Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. So 3.5 years into the Russia-Ukraine war, and the war started because Ukraine wanted to join NATO. The NATO secretary just came out and said Ukraine is never going to join NATO. Also, we have a huge update on the Epstein files from Pam Bondi. Also, Donald Trump visited the DOJ today and made a speech, and he actually gave a name that we never heard of before. The person that was really in charge of all the bogus criminal indictments and investigations into Donald Trump. And I am about to show you the name, show you the clips, and show you the evidence of everything I just said and much, much more. But before we continue, do me a huge favor. Give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe, leave me a comment. Where are you tuning in from? And before we continue, a special shout out to the sponsor of today's video, VERITY METALS. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a Patriot family-owned gold, silver, and precious metals IRA firm who protect your money through physical, constitutional gold and silver. And they will give you free silver on your next qualifying order when you call or text 480-717-9081. Links are down below in the description. Mention me, get free silver. You can't beat that. Let's get right into it. Fozzie Doxy, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Now, first thing, we're going to roll into, where is it? Right here. This is the Secretary of NATO, just moments ago, being asked what will happen to Ukraine. Here's what he says.
He's already taken off Ukraine joining NATO off the table. So Ukraine is left asking this question: how are we going to know we're going to have proper security?
Yeah, but he was also very clear, Pete Hegseth in Brussels, but also the president himself, that when there is a deal on Ukraine, it has to be lasting. It has to be durable. Putin should.
So think about this. Millions of Ukrainians, millions of Russians dead. Cities in Ukraine destroyed. Billions of dollars of American money and weapons sent for what? There is the one underlying reason why this war started was because the West and the United States kept going on TV, kept going into all these, security meetings and saying Ukraine's going to be a part of NATO. And Russia said that's a red line for us. 3 days before Russia invaded Ukraine, Vladimir Putin and the Kremlin wrote a letter to Washington, D.C., NATO, and European allies and said, give us in writing that Ukraine will not join NATO and we will not invade. The response was, screw you, we do what we want. Now, after millions of deaths, cities destroyed, billions of dollars wasted, an entire generation of Russians and Ukrainians gone. Oh, yeah, no NATO for Ukraine. But we knew this all along. We were saying it's nothing more than a lie just to aggravate Russia, to weaken Russia through Ukraine as a proxy. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the globalists. Now, let's continue. We are jumping onto my Twitter page. Where is it? There we go. Pam Bondi gives us an update on the files.
The MAGA group is mad that they don't know more about the Epstein files. The MAGA group is mad that they don't know more about the January 6th investigation. Are you going to give us any more information on these two issues?
Sure. And first to the Epstein, I'm mad that I didn't have more information on Epstein. I was given 200 pages of documents. I've asked Director Patel. He came in after that, of course. I'd asked for those documents prior to Cash coming in. Cash is going to get me all the information. I've asked him to find out why I didn't receive all those documents and he didn't receive all those documents. We've now found out, of course, that they were in New York. We've received truckload of documents of evidence. And Cash is going to give me a deadline on when he can go through that to protect, of course, the victims of sex trafficking who are wrapped into this. And he's going to give me a deadline on when he can get this, and we will get out as much as we can, as fast as we can, to the American people, because they deserve to know. Same with January 6th. We're all working on JFK right now. We will be working on Martin Luther King.
I want to pause it right there for a second. Ladies and gentlemen, leave me a comment. Do you believe her when she says she thought she had all the files, but she didn't? Genuinely. Do you 100% have total confidence that Pam Bondi is telling the truth? Because ever since she got, became the Department of Justice director, she told us she actually went on the Benny Johnson show and said, all the files are on my desk. I am reviewing them. Not only that, but from what I remember and heard, when she was the Attorney General of Florida, she already had all the Epstein files back then. Not only that, the night before she released the first part of the files, she went on Fox News and said, tomorrow I'm going to release everything. The tomorrow comes around, she has a few ex-influencers show up to the White House. She gives them this binder with the photo shoot. People get pissed off. 3 hours later, she goes back on Fox and says, oh, I thought I had everything. I don't have anything. Do you totally trust her? I don't. James Bauer, I just have to say, trust the plan. The plan was, we were told we've got everything. We've got them all. We've caught them all. But now, we don't even know where the files are. Thank you, Fran. Thank you, Fran. Now, let's continue. Going back on here, I'm going to show, let's finish what she has to say.
In all of these things that the president promised, we will be doing. They can try to hide documents from us, but they can't. It might take a little longer. We will find them and we will release them to the American people.
Kash Patel, for 3 years, was going on. Yes, it is a psyop. He was going on. I know who created 8chan. They have the biggest, trust the plan merch store in the world. And they actually admitted on camera they're behind it. Let's continue. So I used to believe it until the creators of Chan admitted, no, we just do this for fun and we sell millions of dollars in merch. Now, Kash Patel, for 3 years leading up to the 2024 election, went on every podcast. He went on talk shows, radio shows, on Fox News, and said, the FBI has the black book. And I read the black book, meaning him, Kash Patel, when he was in the Department of Defense, first Trump presidency. He said, I know everything. I know the names. And if I'm ever FBI director, on day one, I will release it. Mr. Kash Patel, it's about day 17. You don't even talk about the black book or the Epstein book anymore. What's happening? Yeah. I just really, really pray and hope that we don't have another Mike Pompeo and Mike Pence in the Trump administration. Now, let's go down here. This is Trump today. This is what Gunther Engelman said. Do you realize what's happening? Trump is calling out the likes of Andrew Weissman, Mark Elias, and Norm Eisen by name. He's not holding back. Listen to this.
That you have been dealing with for years, like guys like Andrew Weissman, deranged Jack Smith. There's a guy named Norm Eisen. I don't even know what he looks like. His name is Norm Eisen of Crew.
Do you guys know who Norm Eisen is? I never heard that name before when it comes to like Trump indictments and Trump investigations. But listen to why Trump brought up that name.
He's been after me for 9 years. Now, Crew is a charitable organization. And the reason I'm saying this, Todd, is I'm only going to get one chance to say this. But these are bad people. I don't know who he is. I don't know what he looks like. But everything I read is Norm Eisen of Crew. And Crew is a charitable organization. And That's a political thing. His sole life is to get Donald Trump, and he's been vicious and violent, and he's trying, and he probably had pretty good success over the years. But with me, how did he do? I think I'm president. Am I here because I'm president? But we had to take.
Leave me a comment. Have you guys ever heard that name before? Here, let's write it back a little bit.
Smith. There's a guy named Norm Eisen. I don't even know what he looks like.
Norm Eisen. Do you know who that is? Apparently, that person is behind the Trump indictments. That person is behind going after Trump and trying to destroy his life, his political career, and his family. Leave me a comment, ladies and gentlemen, right now. Have you ever heard of that name? Who the hell is that? But apparently, Trump says he just found out about this guy, too. By the way, this is a picture. It's kind of off topic, but I think you'll like this. Eagle Pass, Texas. Under Biden, just a year ago was the top picture. Last week is the bottom picture. And when I posted it, I said it right there. All we needed was a new president. Now, we have another issue in this country. That is woke judges, woke liberal judges that are fighting the Trump agenda, that are fighting against the MAGA agenda and the Trump administration. Here's our press secretary commenting on that.
You cannot have a low-level district court judge filing an injunction to usurp the executive authority of the president of the United States. That is completely absurd. And as the executive of the executive branch, the president has the ability to fire or hire. And you have these lower level judges who are trying to block this president's agenda. It's very clear. And as I just cited, I was appalled by the statistic when I saw it this morning. In 1 month, in February, there have been 15 injunctions of this administration in our agenda. In 3 years under the Biden administration, there were 14 injunctions. So it's very clear.
Did you hear that? In the first month and a half of Trump's administration, there have been 15 court injunctions to stop Donald Trump. In the entire 4 year of the Biden administration, there were only 14. Judges should not have the right to stop the executive branch from doing what it believes needs to be done. These low-life Democrat operatives in black suits.
Clear that there are judicial activists throughout our judicial branch who are trying to block this president's executive authority. We are going to fight back. And as anyone who saw President Trump and his legal team fighting back, they know how to do it. He was indicted nearly 200 times, and he's in the Oval Office now because all of the indictments, all of these injunctions have always been unconstitutional and unfair. They are led by partisan activists who are trying to usurp the will of this president, and we're not going to stand for it. Thanks, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, these judges, they're getting in the way of Trump administration. They're getting in the way of the MAGA agenda. They're getting in the way of, making America great again. And the reason these people are doing that is, I guarantee you, they're special interest donors. There's people with a lot of money that are donating to them to do what they're doing, to make sure they fight the Trump agenda, to make sure that they go against Donald Trump. Before we wrap up, I have one more video I want to show you. This is a Republican congresswoman, absolutely, watch. GOP congresswoman leaves snarky CNN anchor humiliated as she calls out his gotcha journalism. Then the embarrassed media hack forgets her name. Watch this. It's a good clip.
All you need to do is turn on the TV. Look at your show. It's nothing but fear mongering. That's all the Democrats do. What's inflation doing? What's inflation? Up or down? Oh, it's down. What's the prices of eggs? Oh, they're down. What's the prices of mortgage? Oh, it's down, right? But we don't cover the positive things. We only cover the negative things to get everyone worked up. So here's two things. This could be a potential problem, but it actually could be a potential long-term solution. But when you don't want to cover the other half and all you talk about is the one half, of course that's what you're going to hear. I would prefer to give both sides of the story. That's what real news people used to do, is they would give both sides of the story. So one side of the story is, yes, potentially on the short term, listen, tariffs could cause us some discomfort, no question. But let's take a look at the long term. Do you think there's any benefits to the long term? I can share with you that there are benefits to the long term if we can get this on a level playing field. And that's what we need to do. Instead of just getting everyone all ginned up about, oh, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. Let's talk about the vision on what we're actually trying to do, which is reverse the negative course and put America on track to be respected again.
Chairwoman, thank you so much for joining us. I wish you would watch our show more often, because you would see that we do have both sides on. Specifically, that's why you're on the air today, to present that side. That's what we do here at CNN. Chairwoman Linda McClain, thank you so much for the time.
Lisa, thank you.
Lisa, my apologies. Have a good weekend.
So CNN is trying to scare people, except they're not covering the fact that inflation is down, mortgage rates are down, egg prices are down, a barrel of oil is down over $20 than it was 50 days ago when Trump took office. That is the stuff they don't want to cover. That's, it's going to be very interesting to watch this, CNN and the fake news and the mainstream media, the anti-Trumpers, in about 6 to 8 months, when our economy is roaring, when inflation is down to 0.5%, when gas prices are under $2, when egg prices are down to $1 for a dozen, when people are able to afford homes again, and when there's jobs everywhere. How are they going to cover it? I have my intuition is telling me this. Biden left Trump a great economy. That's that's Biden's work. Yeah, sure it is, liberals. Sure it is. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. Give the video a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed. I'll keep you updated. I post daily and go live several times a week with always the hottest, most breaking and up-to-date news. God bless you. See you soon.